Hallo miteinander, I'm Gesh86 and this is the Disappearing of Gensokyo. Last time we met robed extremists and edgelord pixies. The desert is behind us, and for a change, we are undertaking an operation during nighttime. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with one's death. No, Tenshi, that will only be true for Yuyuko and Yoshika and all the many undead or immortal Touhous. Once again, we did not bring a companion other than the default no-cost Reisen, because I knew we would encounter a new recruit, the Hellraven Utsuho Ryuji, often nicknamed Oku. Despite being the final boss of her debut game, the fandom does not consider her much of a schemer or mastermind. In fact, even more than Mystia, she's been cemented as the bird brain of Touhou, and she's not proving herself competent in front of us. Oku is not smart enough to read a map. Her being a little light in the head is not actually bad for us. Such a person is easier to win the trust of, and through some subtle deceit, Tenshi does just that. Oku was dispatched to the human village by her colleague Rin Kainbyo, which is unexpected. Usually, these subterranean people are only concerned with their own matters. Then again, they would still be more likely to fight for Gensokyo than Tenshi. We have long suspended our disbelief. Here we learn that Oku has had a run-in with a sinsack. Alarmingly, she is too dumb to understand what sexual harassment is. In the end, though, the sinsack burned to death from touching her arm cannon. I'm surprised he wasn't more interested in groping the eye of Yatagarasu. That's the demonic-looking object our Hellraven has planted on her chest. It always reminds me of Sauron from Lord of the Rings. Remember how stupid Cherno did not understand that White Tenshi was an imposter? DOG is not going to drop that running gag, and yes, Oku preferred the angelic outfit to the real deal. Please have mercy on Tenshi's self-esteem. With that, here's our new ally. My opinion on Oku as a weapon is mixed. She has the worst bomb in the game. We'll get to why in a moment. I hope you weren't expecting to be greeted by friendly NPCs in the human village. It has long been overrun by invaders and is therefore an action-packed stage like all others. The streets are full of sinsacks, karakasa, fairies, and the most important new addition, the skull chariots. That's our first one destroyed. Skull chariots don't deal a striking amount of damage, nor are they too mobile, but they do have an impressive range and take a lot of punishment. That just then was Oku's bomb, a nuclear orb that hovers for a moment and then leads to a large explosion. You wouldn't think it's a bad bomb. It looks devastating, and it actually is. The problem is collateral damage. If you don't dash away immediately after launching the orb, you will hurt yourself, and not just slightly, no, practically all of your shield will be gone. Here's a singular clansman saying anyone with a girlfriend must die and get a salary cut. Yeah, in that order, I guess. Are the FFF clansmen supposed to be incels? You know, sinsack fans do not bother me at all, to each their own, but I really want to believe there isn't a single incel that likes Touhou. Anyway, Oku's bomb wouldn't be so awful if you had ample time to flee from the blast. It is extremely difficult to escape from it. We didn't on that last one. I simply cannot do it consistently. To the west of this junction is the hiding spot of our first magic piece. A black fairy held on to it. You probably didn't spot her in time. We lasered her out of existence immediately. Oku's primary attack is a rapid lobbing of nuclear grenades. It's strong all in all, but the range is very limited, and worse is that it's likely to arc over enemies that have made it to point-blank distance. The secondary attack is more interesting, but not without its own flaws. We'll have it ready in a moment. It is that. It looked like that nuclear bullet missed, but it actually hit and outright destroyed one of the two skull chariots. The secondary attack shoots very far and has a splash effect, but it's held back by an excruciatingly long cooldown. I've clocked it in. You must wait 10 seconds for a single usage to reload. For a game that is as fast-paced as DOG, that is an eternity. We are being funneled into a narrow passage against a Black Alice. Back in stage 5, we had a lot more room to maneuver. That made the fight much easier then. Nonetheless, we were victorious and have paved the way towards the checkpoint of this stage. It is dearly needed because slow and steady, DOG is becoming tougher. Further ahead are more skull chariots. It is so curious to me that this specific enemy was included in this game. Skull chariots aren't exactly a go-to Touhou adversary, not like Kedama or fairies would be. I have a suspicion, but first we must brace ourselves. Yikes, that boulder hit us so hard, the recording software felt it. As I was saying, I think the skull chariots are a reference, no, not stolen, a reference to Adventures of Scarlet Curiosity. The two games are not related in any way that I know of. I imagine though that MyACG has played Scarlet Curiosity. If you design a 3D action game within the Touhou scene and you hadn't even heard of Scarlet Curiosity, you'd be thought of as ignorant, uncultured if you want. Oku has a lot of screen time today. I'm not too confident as her, but it's her debut level, she should get the spotlight. We haven't yet talked about the new Karakasa enemies. They are swift melee fighters, similar to the desert penguins. The difference is that Kogasa's kin can attack while chasing you. The penguins had to stop and peck. We got our second magic piece from crossing this bridge. The situation was the same as the first, a black fairy had it. Not exactly an inspired or original idea. The last magic piece, however, is going to be another mind-boggler. Oh boy, you'll learn the hows and whys when we get to that. Got to say, Yoshika may be an outdated enemy that was never too dangerous, but they're doing a fine job here covering a more relevant target, namely the Skull Chariot. We managed to slip in close, and it's no more. That was actually the last group to wrangle before Stage 7's grand finale. There is no better spot to have it than at the town's theater square. They should build the pyramids and the oracle next to it for some nice adjacency bonuses. When stepping onto the festival stage, another arena encounter begins. This one you just have to survive until the timer runs out, yet you shouldn't be too defensive. New enemies spawn at fixed intervals, The game won't wait for you to wipe out existing foes. Stay overly passive, and you run the risk of being overwhelmed. Now about that third magic piece. Would you believe that it is earned during this event? Yes, the clansman that has it spawns 3 seconds before the deadline. You must stay on point and not miss your cue to grab it in time. And in all of this mayhem, that is a lot to ask for. He's almost here, but we're in the wrong corner. Can we still get it? No, the level ends instantly once Hata no Kokoro arrives. That's really too bad. I mean, we should be thankful that the Menreiki steamrolled that big wave of baddies for us, but could she not have waited 1 more second? Anyway, that's the first magic piece to slip our grasp. If you're playing the game for yourself, this idea for a collectible is incredibly obscure. Unless you get it by sheer chance, you are likely to waste your time scavenging the level itself for a hiding spot you think you've missed. Sure, the clansman sticks out within the last wave of sinsacks, but still, to have the item within the encounter, let alone so close to its culmination, is a wild decision. Oku has found a spot on our recruitment list. Strange, I thought she was among those you have to buy for points. If she were, we actually would not even get her. There is a blacksmith upgrade she has that lessens the abysmally long reload period of the secondary attack, but I'm just not great as Oku regardless. We will rather spend our money on Comet Lovejoy to improve the movement speed of the far superior Marissa. I will try to utilize our newest bird brain at some points in the future, but she will not be the superstar of this Let's Play. So about stage 7, I do enjoy the atmosphere of the human village by night. I just wish one of its secrets was more reasonable. Of course I had to look up that magic piece. Well, it seems Oku has found peers to match her intellectual level. How nice. Not so nice is what the nuclear bird is doing, bombing the country from her elevated position. No, please don't level Tenshi's house. On second thought, she too has ruined houses. It'll do Tenshi good to taste her own medicine. If you ever want to fast forward through dialogue, for example if you started it accidentally, you can hold down E on the keyboard. Byakuren has some things to say. Remember when she was being all prophetic at the end of episode 3? Accurately announcing our battle with Suika? It looks like we and Kokoro are destined to go at each other's throats. Byakuren mentions a difficulty level here. That is textbook fourth wall breaking. If I were Tenshi, I'd ask the Buddhist if she thinks we only exist in some kind of video game. Nothing new to get with our 17 magic pieces. It irked me that it's not 18. So much that I just could not take it. I first thought I would do a cleanup video only after the Let's Play was over, but I ended up replaying stage 7 right away. I did most of it off camera, except for a short scene that you're going to see after we're done socializing at the Azure Fortress. With Marissa, it's the same subject as last time, thievery. We're about to hear her typical excuse. I ain't stealin', I'm only borrowing it till I die. Never change, Marissa. Coming up is when even the game is admitting that Reisen is not exactly a top-tier character. Your damage is so low. Tenshi is not entirely wrong. Nonetheless, our bunny shall also be called to arms from time to time. So about the third magic piece, we're going to have a jump cut in a few moments. It was not actually that hard to get. You just have to concentrate on being at the right spot at the right time. We only needed one more attempt. With that, I'm Gish86, this was the Disappearing of Gensokyo, and next time, the Dark Art of No, that demons only made up as a parody. Bis bald!